to my channel, it's Aline from Scrapmazing, and today I'm here with another video in my collaboration with the tattooed crafter. Julia and I are focusing on how you can scrap your travels. We are here with some tips and tricks how you can sort and decide which photos you want to print. So basically, it's most of the time you are going on vacation, traveling, and then you come back and you have thousands of photos. So that's super overwhelming, and I'm with you. That's why I haven't scrapbooked my Australia travels yet, because I was always so overwhelmed by the amount of photos I had. So I really tried to find a way how I can get these things in smaller amounts and then work with them. And I'm not the person that likes to work on the computer and sort all the photos for days, because I want to get crafty. So here are my tips and steps how I am doing it, and it really works for me. So I can definitely tell you that if you want to follow this, you will be not that overwhelmed like now. So step 1. For me, most important, after you are coming back from your travels, collect all the photos and put them on one device. So you have photos on your mobile phone, on your camera, on your boyfriend's camera, on your, I don't know, they are all over. So get them all together and put them on one device. So I'm usually using my hard drive, but you can put it on your laptop, computer, wherever you want. But just get them all together so you have a good overview of how many photos you have and what kind of photos and so on. So that's my step number 1. I'm collecting all my photos and getting them on one device. Perhaps a little tip here, I'm normally getting them all together and then I'm doing a backup. So for me it's really the most horrible scenario is that I will lose all of my photos. So this is a good tip. When you have them all together, copy them and put them on the backup. Like I have another hard drive where I do my backup, so I'm copying the folder and with all my photos there, so I have them backed up. So that's a good tip, and I hope I will not lose my photos anytime. So now then step 2. So normally when I have them all together in one folder, I call the folder normally about the place I went. So my folder this time was called Australia, and that's perfect. But now there are 5,000 photos in there and I was still totally overwhelmed. So I tried to find a system, and it's basically kind of similar to the one I was talking about in my process planning. So if you haven't seen the video, I will link it in the description box and you can check it out. And now I will explain how I took this system and use it with my photos. So basically I'm doing it I sorted my memorabilia and all the things by state. So I had Western Australia, Queensland, all the things. And this is the same thing I do first with my photos. So I will create a folder that's called Western Australia. So I put all the photos that are from Western Australia in this folder. So I have 5,000, and then I put, like, for example, 1,000 photos in Western Australia. But that's a smaller amount, and that's something I can work from. But thousands is still a lot. So I'm creating folders for the cities, or the regions where we went. So I had, for example, Perth. I've created a new folder. It was in the folder Western Australia, and I put all the photos from Perth in there. And I did this with all the regions, cities we went to in Western Australia. So I had like 10 folders in there. But that's good because now I click on Perth and I have like 200. That's great. So I can work from this smaller amount. Sometimes in one folder there were only like 10, but that's okay for me because I prefer to have like less photos than too many. And what I do then is I sort them like chronologically. So for example, we started in Perth, so I will rename the folder from Perth in 1/Perth. And so I will add numbers in the beginning. So it will be like the first place we went to is 1. The second is 2. So, and then the name of the city or the region. So I have them sorted and have them in the right order. That's important for me. You don't have to do it in the order you travel these places, but that's how I like to do it, and it's just a tip. If you don't want to do it like that, just leave the folders and pick whichever you want to work with first. So then I have these smaller amounts of photos in my folders, and what I do then is go into my first folder and go in there and check all my photos. Then I delete the ones that are blurry, eyes shut or closed, and like the ones that are not really good and I don't really like. So I start to delete. And for me, I think it's really, really important to start deleting because you will never ever scrap all the photos. If I have doubles, I sometimes leave them all in there if they are all good, because sometimes they are a little bit different, but most of the time I'm choosing like 1 or 2, so I have them in the folder. So I sort this folder out a little bit to have an even smaller amount of photos, and that's basically how I get into it. And then then like step 3, how to decide which photos I want to scrap. Basically, I open the first folder of the first city where we went and just do it and open the photos and go through them. And then I look at them and really start thinking about my travels and all the things. And if there's a photo, I instantly think about a story. I put it into print, or this is the one I want to print. So I'm doing my printing a lot. My printing process, or deciding which ones I want to print, starts with story-based decision. So for me, it's important to document the stories that I experienced over there. And that's why I want to choose my photos by stories. So I go through the folder and select the ones that are really connected to a story I want to tell. And while I'm doing this, I'm normally taking pen and paper and write down, like when I have the photo, I write down the number and then I briefly note down what the story is all about, so I don't forget, and I have it down so I know when I start scrapping I don't have to think about the journaling as much as I have done or had to do if I hadn't done my notes. So that's basically how I start. And these stories or these photos I get together. Sometimes there are 5 stories I want to tell. Sometimes there are even more. And sometimes these photos are, not the amazing or the best photos I've taken, but for me the story is what I want to focus on. So that's my first step. So not my first step, but that's how I decide which photos I want to print first. So I normally have around 5 to 10 photos of the city, or of, for example, of Perth, and I know a story that's going with the photos. So I will print these first, and most of the time I'm doing a layout for them. So these are my photos I will be doing layouts for. So because there's a story I really want to tell, and I want to keep these memories and document them, so they will be in layouts. Then I already said that I will be do pocket pages, so I will be going through my photos another time and selecting the ones I really like or I want to keep in my in my album, and then I will take them and print them for my pocket pages. So to be honest, when I already did the step with the story-based photo picking, can I say that? That's the first point where I start scrapping. So I don't like to do the printing all in one, because I don't know which size I want to do, if I change my mind, and so on. So I have one tip for you. Definitely start small. So for me, creating this album is like a process, and I should enjoy this process. So I'm printing in small bits and creating with them, and then going from there. So sometimes I'm creating a layout. I think this story is super awesome. I do a layout. I love the layout. And then I could add this photo and do a layout on the other side. And perhaps this wasn't a great story at my first look through of my photos. But then I'm like, oh yeah, I like this. So I'm really, really doing it very flexible. So because I have the structure of my photo, then I can go back and look there. So for my finished, if I'm finished with one folder, I will mark it. Like then it's one Perth, and then I write next to it printed or something. So I know I have already told all the stories that are on these photos. I have decided all the photos I wanted to have, and I can move on to the next one. So perhaps a little wrap up of all my things. So first, get all your photos together, then sort them. So perhaps a little bit about the sorting. That was just my system, how I did it. But you can sort them by day or by week or whatever, or by place you went. It does really depend on how your travel was, because like I said in my last video, I traveled for 1 year, and it was, I couldn't do it by day. It would be too many folders, and so I did this system. But you can really do it how you want to do it. And if you have any questions or if you need help, just let me know in the comments below, and I'm always happy to just send private messages, or you can ask me how you should sort your photos, and I can give you tips and tricks. Just let me know in the comments, or text me, or go over to Instagram. You can message me there, or on Facebook. I'm always happy to help and answer your questions. So and then for me, most important about my photos is I pick them mostly story based. That's how I do it, and I think it's a great way to document the important things that are behind the photos. And Another thing I always keep in mind that I start small. You don't have to print all the photos at once. You don't have to do the album in 1 week. Just go and enjoy your process. I love creating, I love doing my layouts. So this is an important thing for me, that I don't do all the editing and all the things. I just like to do a little bit and then start creating, do a little bit and then go on creating. That's how I like it and do it. So yeah, these are my tips about photo printing. So if you have any questions, leave them below in the comment section, and I will definitely answer them. And yeah, make sure to check out Julia's video. I'm so excited what she came up with, because this photo thing is so, it's just a huge thing, and I'm so looking forward what she has, which great tips she has to offer, and how she is doing, if we are doing it the same or if she's doing it different. So I'm looking forward to watch her video, and I see you Saturday with a new video. Bye!